right now on 5 on your side at 10.
Tonight, breaking news. You likely got an alert on your phone about a suspect. Police say he shot a police officer. We're live with the breaking details. And tonight, grave concern.
We have relatives out here. They once had a face, they had a name, they had a life.
Families left searching for loved ones in their final resting place.
24 hours and the heat begins to break. The changes coming for the weekend that will make you smile.
We start tonight with that breaking news out of Lincoln County. Just minutes ago, the Missouri State Highway Patrol canceled a blue alert after locating a man accused of shooting a sheriff's deputy. Thank you for joining us. I'm Mike Bush.
And I'm Ann Allred. This all started at a home on Creech School Road in Troy, Missouri earlier tonight. Our Laura Barczewski just talked with law enforcement. She is on the scene live. Laura.
Yes, Mike and Ann, we're actually still waiting for a couple more updates from law enforcement, but we did find out from the Lincoln County Sheriff's Office that one of their deputies was in fact shot, but has non-life-threatening injuries and was taken to the hospital. The scene is still pretty active here right now. We are on a dark road here in Troy, Missouri, Creech School Road, as you mentioned at the beginning, and there's still a lot of activity going on across what seems to be like a little pond or something near the home where they believe this all kind of started. The Missouri State Highway Patrol sent out a blue alert, and as you said, they were just located the suspect. You likely all got this on your phones at home, a little alert that sounded off with a notification. We're still kind of trying to verify what's all kind of happened here, but ultimately they believe that this suspect fired shots at law enforcement. We don't really know the exact cause or what caused him to shoot at police, but again, we do know that one deputy has been shot. The blue alert named the person as Thomas Vivera Jr., 54 years old. And again, the suspect has been located. We are still waiting on the Missouri State Highway Patrol to meet us to give us more information about what transpired here. We saw lots of different law enforcement agencies responding. I saw Wentzville, St. Charles, Lincoln County Sheriff's Office, as well as the Missouri State Highway Patrol. So we will keep you updated on exactly what happened, and we will keep you posted as we are expected to talk to the Missouri State Highway Patrol here soon. And again, that officer is suspected to be okay. He had non-life-threatening injuries, and we don't know if anyone else was injured or what condition the suspect himself is in. Reporting live from Lincoln County, Laura Barczewski, 5 on your side.
And we'll get back to Laura if we get any new information. We remain in a weather alert tonight with another hot and humid night in St. Louis.
We still have another 24 hours left in this excessive heat warning. The first went into effect on Sunday. Weather First Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell's here with details of some much needed relief. Scott.
Yeah, it's definitely on the way, but we still have to wait until tomorrow. You know, something that's been very unique with this particular heat wave, the actual temperatures haven't been all that hot. It's been the humidity levels that have been unusually high. We had 3 days this week where the dew point temperature hit 80 degrees in St. Louis. That just doesn't happen. That's the first time that's happened in the history of observations for hourly observations going back to 1946, something that's very rare. And today's high was 101. That's too shy of the record. But here's something else that's adding up for this heat wave. This morning's low, 82 degrees. We're not dropping below that before midnight, and that plays a factor into how this heat is affecting our bodies. Overnight lows early this morning were only down into the mid-70s to lower 80s, and that's the same case again tomorrow, and we know that heat has that cumulative effect on our bodies. Right now, temperatures, once you get away from town, are still in the low to mid-80s, but for a lot of us, it still feels like it's around 90 degrees right now, and we will continue to see this heat linger into tomorrow. One more dangerously hot day. The peak heat index tomorrow, 106 to 118 during the afternoon. While there may be a spot shower or thunderstorm tomorrow, there's a slightly better chance on Saturday, and Saturday will begin our day of relief as we transition to a cooler pattern. Ann?
Thank you, Scott. The excessive heat is leading to changes for area students. St. Louis Public School District is warning parents of bus delays up to 2 hours because of bus drivers calling off due to the heat. Those buses are not air conditioned. Some districts have switched to remote learning. Some schools like Francis Howell are dismissing early. Friday night football games are also being delayed or postponed. For more information on cooling centers and how to stay safe in these dangerous temperatures, text the word HEAT to 314-425-5355. And we'll send that information to your phone.
Breaking tonight, history in Georgia. You're looking at the first mugshot of a former U.S. president. Just a few hours ago, Donald Trump was booked into the Fulton County Jail after turning himself in on charges that he tried to overturn the state's 2020 election results. Tonight, Mr. Trump talked to reporters after posting a $200,000 bond. Jay Gray has the latest from Atlanta.
The former president's motorcade pulling through the gates of the Fulton County Jail, rushing past dozens of supporters gathered outside.
This is crazy. It's sad, and I never thought I would see it in my life.
Mr. Trump surrendering to state police, facing more than a dozen felony charges, including racketeering and conspiracy for his alleged efforts to overturn results in the 2020 presidential election in Georgia. Inside the facility, less than 30 minutes, the former president is read his rights, fingerprinted, has an inmate ID assigned, and mugshot taken. That photo released publicly, something prosecutors haven't done in 3 separate indictments earlier this year.
What has taken place here is a travesty of justice. We did nothing wrong. I did nothing wrong.
Mr. Trump pausing before boarding his private jet, denying the allegations and saying the now 91 charges he faces in 4 separate cases are politically motivated.
What they're doing is election interference. They're trying to interfere with an election, and we have every right, every single right, to challenge an election that we think is dishonest, that we think it's very dishonest.
Which is why Mr. Trump says he'll plead not guilty during his arraignment, the next legal step in this historic, high-profile case. The Fulton County District Attorney says that arraignment hearings for the former president and 18 co-defendants could start in less than 2 weeks. Jay Gray, NBC News, Atlanta.
Tonight, Illinois State Police are investigating a traffic stop that led to a man's death in Madison County. According to police, 28-year-old Kyrie Myers of Berkeley stole a Washington Park officer's car during that traffic stop on State Road 203 overnight. Investigators say the officer fired shots as Myers sped away, and about 10 minutes later, he was found lying along State Road 162 in Granite City. Police say he got out and was struck by another squad car and a passing driver. He died at the scene. Concerns keep growing tonight about the conditions of Washington Park Cemetery in Berkeley. This comes just one day after police say 2 men were caught on video, possibly illegally digging up a gravesite. Just hours ago, our Robert Townsend spoke with a woman searching for her loved one's headstone.
It's right in here.
For the past 3 months, Sharon Webb has been on an agonizing search
Very disappointing.
to find her grandmother's headstone at Washington Park Cemetery.
Her headstone is gone. So, and it hurts.
Webb tells us 52 years ago, her grandma, Nancy Scales, was buried at the Berkeley Cemetery. Sharon says when she visited Washington Park 2 years ago, she took this picture of her grandmother's headstone. But when she went to the cemetery on Mother's Day and today, Webb could not find it. Is it possible we're in the wrong area?
No, not by any means of the word. I know where all my relatives are.
Long overdue for an assessment.
Asia Corrigan is the president of the St. Louis Preservation Crew. The nonprofit and other groups say hundreds of headstones have sunken, including military memorials and much of an infant section. The groups also say many headstones are buried by overgrown brush or grass.
We need a holistic, multifaceted solution. The powers to be should step up.
County records show Kevin Bailey's Amazing Graces LLC has owned it since 2009. This afternoon, I called Craig Smith, the cemetery owner's lawyer, on the telephone. He admits right now the cemetery has no staff, no financial base, and no endowment. Smith tells me the abandoned cemetery's future is definitely bleak. Smith says Sharon Webb and others looking for their loved ones' stones must go to the Missouri Historical Society, where all records are currently kept.
Can't get in contact with anyone.
Robert Townsend, 5 on your side.
Washington Park Cemetery is 103 years old. It's been more than 30 years since the last person was buried there.
Tonight, a South County man is back home safe more than 2 months after he was reported missing. Stephen Wehrman was found at a homeless shelter in Chicago this week. He was last seen June 6th withdrawing money from his bank. He then paid $960 for a cab ride to Chicago. His family tells 5 on Your Side the 61-year-old who has a developmental disability was distraught over the death of his mother.
Tonight, the plan by 2 local businessmen to provide free gas for hundreds of drivers has hit a roadblock.
In a viral social media post, they advertised the event to happen this weekend in Richmond Heights. But as our Brent Solomon explains, the city made its own post saying the event won't happen.
Listen, man, it's a lot of talk in the city, but not a lot of action.
Our post that we created had a combined of over 300,000 views, so we didn't even plan for that. I know for us, our impact was felt because the city responded.
Financial literacy coaches David Williams and Roman Long posted the video as an advertisement a month after they say they spoke with the owner of this auto shop connected to the BP gas station on Clayton Road and South Central Avenue in Richmond Heights.
He said, well, hey, if you guys come in and fill up the tanks, right, that's
he
fine.
He was for it.
So they decided to throw in $5,000 each to give away $10,000 in gas this weekend. In addition to hiring private security, they say they went to Richmond Heights Police this week with a request.
I originally went there Monday just say, okay, look, we're having this event. If we got some off-duty officers, right, that'd be preferable. Just keep everything nice and safe, nice and calm and collected.
And what did they say that day?
They said they just couldn't provide it.
They said, no, we can't.
Yeah.
You got it.
Then these posts on Twitter from the city. You will not be able to get gas at the BP location free or otherwise this weekend. That BP station is closed the weekend of August 26th due to pre-planned resealing and maintenance.
Then it just became a big mess.
When I went inside the gas station to ask for the manager, I was told he wasn't there. I reached out to the police chief. He said in an email, if contacted in advance, I would have shared my concerns over the size of the gas station and its ability to accommodate several hundred vehicles in a short amount of time. It's not really an accommodating spot for traffic control purposes.
All we could think about was who wouldn't want this free money? It's free money.
Well, the business partners say the giveaway will still happen Saturday, but instead of in Richmond Heights, they plan to stop by several gas stations in North County and randomly pick up the tabs for customers.
Dollar deals becoming dollar steals. The big changes coming to a popular bargain store thanks to shoplifters. The excessive heat is reaching a boiling point for some.
It's about 90 degrees in here. I ain't got no other place to go.
The help for those without AC, plus we uncover why landlords are not responsible to keep renters cool.
It really has been a strain on the air conditioner this week, but the weekend brings changes, good changes. See you in 7 minutes.
Some popular items could be disappearing off the shelves at Dollar Tree and Family Dollar stores, and it's all because of an increase in theft. During a call today, executives with the bargain retailer say the company experienced a 30% drop in profit margins last quarter. To combat the problem, some items will be locked up or put behind the cashier. In some cases, certain products may no longer even be available in some stores.
The extreme heat has forced a Florissant favorite to temporarily close its doors. The owner of Man Meat says they're putting people before profit. The smokers, where they cook the meats, are outside. While the storefront is air conditioned, the owner says it's hard to keep both his customers and his employees cool.
This building's so old, it works like now, but the door's been closed all day. You get people coming in and out of the door all day. The heat comes in, the cold air goes out, and then we start sweating, and it's just uncomfortable for everybody. I ain't making a living if they're sick and a heat stroke or passed out or whatever.
Man Meats hopes to reopen tomorrow at 11 a.m. It has been a week of dangerously hot conditions, and some of our most vulnerable often suffer without getting help.
Many of you have reached out to 5 on Your Side this week asking for help, from rental protections to assistance if you can't afford a repair. Tonight, Paula Vassan shares potentially life-saving information if you're struggling to stay cool.
It's a sauna inside the home of 84-year-old Robert Woods. You start sweating in seconds.
It's about 90 degrees in here.
4 months ago, he lost his central air conditioning.
It's no good, it's not working.
He cannot afford the $5,000 to replace it. This summer alone, he's had 3 heat strokes that landed him in the hospital.
Well, it's real hard to live here. Like I say, I can't do too much or nothing.
A week ago, he got this free air conditioning window unit from the nonprofit CoolDownSt.Louis.org. It provides free units to people who are elderly, have disabilities, or have small children. Its founder says the need is climbing.
That's why the phones are jammed. That's why the hotline is overflowing. We have doubled our staff this summer because we want to meet the needs.
Community officials tell us the need for air conditioning is unprecedented. First responders are seeing a spike in medical problems, and resources are strapped.
St. Louis alderwoman Shamim Clark Hubbard believes those resources are pivotal because Missouri law does not do enough. For renters, state law does not require landlords to even provide air conditioning.
Do you think that should change?
I do. This is about a quality of life issue. I do think that should change because I think that is something that should be provided, definitely be provided by a landlord.
Which is why she says people need to advocate for themselves and their neighbors. Her suggestions: if you're dealing with lack of air conditioning, call cooldowntlouis.org and your local council person, even if you're put on a wait list.
That's what the community has to do, work together, right?
For now, Woods is thankful for the one unit he has in his bedroom. Relief from the heat that's getting harder to escape.
Well, I ain't got no other place to go.
Paula Vasan, 5 on your side.
All right, let's turn to Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell, who's got that weather first forecast, and like we've been saying, light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, we are going to get the break heading into this weekend for sure, but we still have one more hot day. And you just saw, if you can just keep at least one room cool, that makes all the difference in the world. Now, as you look at what was happening today, we had lots more in the way of sunshine around St. Louis. Yesterday, we had those clouds that were a little bit thicker, kept us from hitting 100, although we've felt like we were 110 to 115. Today, much more in the way of sunshine, and our top heat index at St. Louis Lambert was 115, also 115 over at Alton, Bethalto, at the regional airport there, Cahokia Heights at 114, St. Charles coming in with 114 up in Smartfield. And you know who's been busy this week? The bees. This is from Kathy up in Eolia with the bees on the bumblebees out working, and they're just mesmerizing. And if there's nothing else, you know, when it's hot like this and we can't work or don't want to do too much, you can't overexert yourself, right? You can at least sit and watch the insects and the animals and just watch how they try to stay cool during these hot times. Temperatures are still near 90 in the metro area. It still feels like it's close to 100 in St. Louis. Officially, the heat index at Lambert is 102 this hour. 91, 101 was the high, 82 was the low. That 82 will go in the books as the warmest low temperature for this state when everything's said and done. Tomorrow morning, again, low 80s in town, 70s in the outlying areas. Changes are getting underway. The moisture from what once was Harold now working over Colorado, and it's entirely possible some of that moisture and energy may slide over us as we head into tomorrow night, early on Saturday. The big upper level heat dome is starting to shift farther south and southwest. Not soon enough, right? It's taking a little long, but it is going to ease away. So tomorrow should be the last day where we have this hideous heat with the heat index values above 110 degrees. We will improve things on Saturday. It's still going to be steamy, but it won't be nearly as bad as it has been. Tomorrow's mostly dry. As we head into the afternoon, when temperatures get around 100 once again, we should see an isolated shower or thunderstorm pop up in a few places. This is not going to be very widespread, but there is at least that chance with the heat and humidity across the area tomorrow, more so than what we've seen the last several days. We head into Saturday, the front's trudging on to the south, so we should see some scattered showers and thunderstorms, at least that chance, especially from St. Louis on to the south going into Saturday afternoon. Still around 90 for the high on Saturday, and it's still a little steamy, but the heat index should stay below 100 for most of us. And then on Sunday, how about low 80s? How about maybe in your neighborhood, it stays in the upper 70s. That's a possibility, especially where we have a little bit thicker cloud cover on Sunday, maybe south of St. Louis. I don't think anybody's going to complain about that. I wouldn't be in line to, be in the complaint line here if we're in the low 80s or upper 70s.
Nope. It's going to feel
on Sunday.
Nice and cool.
Oh, yeah, and the humidity drops way off, and that means going into next week, your low temperatures, even in town, get much more reasonable.
All right, jackets on Sunday. We got it. Scott, thank you. Corey, what's up in sports?
Well, we're a week out from Mizzou and Illinois kicking off their 2023 football seasons, and a day out from high school football getting off to a steamy start. It's also an important night at Herman Stadium for SLUs. Stick around. Sports is next.
And don't forget to join us this Sunday for the Show of Strength NBA Telethon. A week early this year, we're going to be live from Grants Farm Sunday night from 8 until 10, both on air and on KSDK.com. You can also watch on the 5+ streaming app. And all the money raised during the telethon goes to people fighting neuromuscular diseases right here in the St. Louis area.
The Sports Desk is sponsored by Jim Butler Chevrolet, the Midwest's #1 Chevy dealer 10 years running.
A week from now, Mizzou football will have either a win or a loss. They're big favorites over South Dakota in the opener, but there will be intrigue no matter what. Both Brady Cook and Sam Horn are expected to get snaps at quarterback. One area that doesn't seem to have many questions for Mizzou is the defense. The Tigers have one of the most experienced defenses in the entire country, filled with a number of guys who could end up playing in the NFL. Cardinal Ritter defensive end Joe Moore is a new addition after transferring from Arizona State, and he thinks this defense will prove why they're so great on the field.
I feel like just the whole team is still slept on, nationally, and just going on to our defense, I feel like, to me, we got the one of the best defense in the country, and I feel like every person from the starters to the bench player on defense, we got something to prove, and just to show that we ain't finna be no push around, that we ain't no, good guys, like we dogs.
Illinois. Altmaier threw for 3 touchdowns for Ole Miss, mostly as a backup, but Coach Brett Bielema likes the way his new starter has commanded a room.
I've been very impressed on not just his play on the football field, but kind of how he's handled. I think to walk into this environment, to have a lot of people from the outside world think he's going to be that guy, and to stand in front of his team, to give cadence as a quarterback, to speak in the huddle, but also on the sideline in the locker room. I thought he's just really done a nice job of balancing all that.
Tomorrow, high school football returns. At least we hope so. The temperatures are making things complicated, but we still plan on bringing you highlights tomorrow night on 5 on Your Sideline. Due to the heat, many teams are either moving their games back to 8 p.m. tomorrow night or moving them back to Saturday, where it's expected to be at least a little bit cooler. I checked in with a few coaches this week to get their thoughts on preparing to play in this extreme heat.
Bigger schools that don't have a lot of guys going both ways, it can help you out. But if you got a lot of guys going both ways, they can cramp up a little bit. But that's why we condition. So, but in this type of heat, conditioning, it might not help a lot.
Like we tell our kids, it's the preparation that you do Monday through Thursday. You can't do any preparing on Friday.
It was a big night tonight at Herman Stadium for SLU soccer. The women went first against Creighton. Bill strike first. Hannah Larson plays a perfect corner that's finished off for a goal by Lindsay Heckel. Later on, Hannah Sawyer is going to find some open space. She puts on a finishing clinic. Beauty of a breakaway goal. SLU beats Creighton tonight by the score of 4-1. The men were up next at Herman Stadium. They had a tough task against Butler. The Bulldogs got things started with this nice feed in front that's finished off by a header just over the keeper. This game is actually still going on, and it is still 1-0. No Cardinals game tonight, and most people are already looking ahead to next season. It's a season that could bring big changes. John Mozeliak said pitching is on the to-do list, and there are some big names on the market like Blake Snell, Aaron Nola, and Sonny Gray. But will they actually want to come to St. Louis?
Now, the Cardinals, they're not a cheap organization, but they do operate conservatively. That's why they've been able to sustain this success for so long up until this season. But there is a lot of work to be done in terms of making St. Louis an enticing place to land for free agents again. There's a strong core here.
Join us Sunday night for Sports Plus. We sit down with City SC set-piece star Edward Leuven. And we're going to talk some more with Bob Costas, as well as recap a big day of racing in St. Louis with the Bommarito 500. Big day on Sunday. We got a big Sports Plus and a big telethon. Looking forward to all of it.
All right, Corey, thanks.
Build-A-Bear is building on its empire. How the St. Louis company is taking a cue from Barbie.
The early bird won't necessarily get the worm anymore on Southwest Airlines. That airline is now limiting its early bird check-in to certain flights, routes, and times. Typically, Southwest passengers can pay an extra fee for an earlier boarding slot for its first-come, first-served seating.
Build-A-Bear is in a Barbie world. According to our partners at the St. Louis Business Journal, the locally based company is looking to piggyback off the success of the summer blockbuster hit. Besides a Barbie-themed collection, Build-A-Bear is coming to the big screen. Glisten and the Merry Mission, featuring the elfing marzipan, will hit Cinemark theaters this holiday season.
And Scott has one final check of this hot weather.
Yeah, you know, it is hot for one more day. Still steamy out there tonight. Temperatures, though, will be cooling off this weekend. We got to get through tomorrow. Make sure you're staying hydrated, in air conditioning as much as you can. But Saturday, low 90s for highs versus around 100. And then in the low 80s on Sunday. Sunday's much less humid. Any rain on Saturday, well, we need the rain, but it would be scattered. So not everybody's going to get a lot of rain out of this system when it comes through. But all of us will get relief from the heat by Sunday.
And there you have it. 5 on your side at 10. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is next.
Start your day with Today in St. Louis beginning at 4 a.m. and have a great Friday.